Greetings from me, Brendan Kelly, and welcome to round one of the Algoa Rally Club Championships from a very, very hot Aldo Scribante Raceway in Port Elizabeth. With time running out for the 21 cars that had entered, the teams were busy with final preparations before the cars were all scrutinized by the officials. Barry Spriggs, Dave Welford and Alistair Pringle ensuring that all of the cars and equipment met the required standards. Gareth John was also in hand to feed the masses with his delicious Prego rolls. The cars were all moved into Park Fomé and the crews attended their briefing. Sam van der Berg was the man in the hot seat, being the clerk of the course for the Stu Davidson's and Son rally, and he gave the crews the final instructions before the rallies commenced. The cars were divided into the following classes: the S1 class 1400 two-wheel drive, S2 1600 two-wheel drive, the S3 class 2-litre two-wheel drive, and the S4 class 2-litre to 3.5-litre rear-wheel drive cars, the S5 class 1.2-litre TSI VW Polos, and the Clubman class would run with Group S3. The rally organisers had come up with an interesting concept with a mix between tar and dirt. Stage 1 would be a shootout around Scribante between two cars at the same time, with their average speeds over the last 2 seasons used to determine their starting positions. Stage 2 would be a fast but technical 15-kilometre section at Innibos, where the driver's skills would be tested to the absolute maximum. First up in the anti-clockwise shootout would be Niels Vosloo and Rikus Fourie pitting their skills against Nick Davidson and Ashley Besaidnout. Incidentally, the Vosloo Fourie car is the ex-Nick Davidson car that won the 2018, 2019 and 2021 championship, while Davidson and Besaidnout would be debuting their brand new car right here. Looks like it is Niels Vosloo with the advantage there, getting better drive. Bit of wheel spin there for Nick Davidson as they head into what we know as Turn 7, Dunlop Corner. As I said, the cars will be going in an anti-clockwise direction around Aldo Scribante Raceway. Nick Davidson will be diving off into the dirt now as Niels Vosloo carries on around the circuit. Great onboard footage from Nick Davidson's car, Ashley Besaidnout reading the notes next to him as they once again tackle Turn 7, this time right way around but on the outside of the circuit. See the dust coming up from behind the cars, hardly any wind to speak of. As I mentioned earlier, it was extremely hot temperatures during the day, going up to over 40 degrees. Back onto the tar comes Nick Davidson, coming through Turn 5 on the limit, using every piece of track and some more. Focus now on Niels Vosloo and Rikus Fourie in the bright orange polo down the back part of the circuit. Quite a bumpy section. 1 or 2 nice little jumps that the guys have got out there. Lots and lots of dust, which will play a part in the rally later on when the guys move to the dirt circuits at Innibos. Onto the track comes Niels Vosloo and Rikus Fourie, using the track better, carrying better speed through as they go. On board with Nick Davidson now. We should be able to see. There's the dust in front of them now. Slightly behind the Vosloo Fourie car at the moment, but looks like they've picked up problems. Onto the grass goes Nick Davidson and Ashley Besaidnout. You see the telltale blue smoke out there, and unfortunately for them, having dropped a valve, and that put paid to their rally. Heartbreak for Ashley Besaidnout and Nick Davidson, going out in stage number 1. Next up would be the first of the 2-litre cars, Clyde Challenor and Graham Bishop versus Rika Schmidt and Sherry Lee Petersen. Challenor and Bishop in the second of the bright orange Hero Tail cars. And it will be Challenor and Bishop the first to go onto the dirt sections. We go on board with them. Very tight, twisty circuit that the guys have laid out for them. Navigator having to work really hard, making sure his driver knows exactly where they need to be headed. Jump there. Great car control from Clyde Challenor as they come through. Focus now on Rika Schmidt and Sherry Lee Petersen as they head down the back part of the circuit. Challenor and Bishop on the tar already. Rika Schmidt and Sherry Lee Petersen slightly off pace, and it looks like their electrical issues that plagued them last season are set to continue. Eddie Banks and Marius Rotenbach in the BMW E36 lineup on the left. On their right, it is George van Baarle and Dion Slabbert in the VW Polo. Eddie Banks with a good getaway, the rear-wheel drive, and his door opens as he goes into turn number 7. So a bit of a moment there for Eddie, one of the most accomplished drivers around, a real showman. And there we go, sideways straight away for the BMW E36. There's nobody that likes to go sideways more than Eddie Banks does. He's got a brand new Beams motor in the BMW E36 now, so he should be very reliable for the season. On to George van Baarle and Dion Slabbert. They missed a turn going off the circuit in the first lap, so that's cost them a bit of time. Eddie Banks looking completely in control as he heads backwards around the circuit. On to the next guys up, the 2-litre normal H-pattern gearbox. This is Ross and Roxanne Bartle versus Gordon Nolan and Henry Adams. And you'll see the karting experience that Ross Bartle has, and he uses it to his advantage the whole way through. See the lines that he's taking there. Ross, a really accomplished racing driver. Doesn't matter if it's karting, rallying or main circuit. He is very good. It looks like Gordon Nolan has picked up issues. I know he was complaining about the car overheating, and they have come to a standstill on the far side of the circuit. Just getting confirmation that the car was overheating. As we've mentioned the heat more than once today. Next we go to Jean and Taryn van Rooyen, Borley and Taryn as they head off. We're on board with Johan Viljoen and Stefano Petersen. Johan's regular co-driver UNA taking pictures at Jason Schreiber's wedding, so she wasn't able to be with us this weekend. So jumping in the car with Johan was Stefano Petersen. This is guaranteed to be a close battle as we go on board with Johan Viljoen and Stefano. Just watch the instructions. The hand signal's been thrown. Once again, going through Dunlop turn around the embankment. Great car control here from Johan Viljoen. Oh, there's a bit of a moment there. Just touching the side of Bolly and Taron van Rooyen's car as they came back onto the circuit. Let's have an action replay here. Neither of the drivers willing to give an edge, and great car control. Well caught there from Jean van Rooyen, managing to keep the Polo going in a straight line. This one going to go right down to the wire. This is what the crowds had come to see, close racing action. Jean van Rooyen being very defensive, just protecting his lines, closing the door slightly, not giving Johan Viljoen an opportunity to get past them. Got the slight edge, closes on him once again. Onto the main straight we go, and the end of the stage. Next up, the first of the Clubman cars for over 35 years old, the 2-litre Herman Barnard, in the car that he affectionately calls Pisang. He's got JP Smit next to him as his navigator. JP, the ex-driver from Daniel Pienaar. In the second of the cars, it's Francois Vermaak and Chantal Vermaak. Still no wind to talk about at this stage. Conditions just got hotter and hotter during the day. Once again, the cars coming back onto the circuit nice and close to each other. But it definitely looks like it is Pisang, Herman Barnard, JP Smit with the advantage over Francois and Chantal Vermaak. This is what the results look like after stage number 1. Great drive there from Niels Vosloo and Rikus Fourie, leading by just over 1 second from Maverick and Goose, Clyde Challenor and Graham Bishop. On to stage 2, and this was the Innibos section, 15 kilometers of dirt. Our rally leaders in the 502 car, Niels Vosloo and Rikus Fourie off first. They'll be followed by Rika Schmidt and Sherry Lee Pieterse, still smiling, but looks like they're still being plagued by electrical issues. Got the hammer down, as I mentioned earlier. Nice fast sections, lots of technical sections as well during the Innibos stage. On board with Schmidt and Pieterse. Second in the rally at the moment. Just got a glimpse of Ross and Roxanne Bartle going through there in the 519 car. George van Balen and Dion Slubbert fly through. Then it's the man in the BMW E36, Eddie Banks. Commonly known as the greatest showman, gets the BMW through there. Some more sideways action from him. Next up, it'll be the 581 car, Johan Viljoen and Stefano Pieterse, as they tackle the stage. Nice long straight to start off with before heading into the technical stuff. Oh no, it looks like front end damage there, and that has put them out of the rally. The rear-wheel drive Ford Escort of Herman Bernard and JP Smith going through the 560 car. Putting up lots of dust is the rear-wheel drive. The second of the Triple L plant hire cars, that's Gary Hein, Demi Kretzmann. That's their first outing in the 2-litre class. The third of the Triple L cars, That is Dion Kretzmann and Keith McGregor, who is the navigator there. They seem to be going well. Yet another of the drivers that has made the switch from karting to rallying. It's Rianne Rotenbach, young lady. She's got the very experienced Mark Irvine in the Navigate. They were fourth fastest in stage, but unfortunately retired with their broken gearbox after the stage. Let's have a look at a comparison between Niels Vosloo and Rikke Schmidt versus Clyde Challenor and Graham Bishop, who will have bragging rights at the end of this. Niels is 1 second lead going into the stage at flags. It was Graham Bishop who had made up a deficit to be tied on points. Unfortunately for Bishop and Challenor, they would be plagued with brake issues, the back brakes starting to bind due to the excessive heat out on the circuit. Let's enjoy some more drone footage watching the car winding its way down the steep hill. Snaking there, trying to get all of the power onto the circuit. Let go on board once again. Our rally leaders on the limit. Hard into the right-hander. Oh, slightly overdoing it to get in confirmation that they are also starting to suffer brake failure. This has left the door open for Bolly and Taron van Rooyen to come flying through, attacking the corners very, very aggressively. Bolly van Rooyen, obviously, he's a multiple enduro champion. And Taron is no slouch either. She's a very, very accomplished quad bike racer. So a great pairing that they have got in the car. They really understand each other and showing what they're made of. Taking their first ever stage win in a rally. Watching the Van Rooyen pairing disappearing into the distance. Lots and lots of dust coming into play. Let's have a look what the leaderboard looks like after stage 2. Rianne Rotenbach leading class S1. Her and Mark Irvine had gone really, really well in the little 1400 polo. Look at positions 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 covered by a mere 30 seconds. Back to stage 3, another shootout. You'll notice that Challenor and Bishop's car on the right-hand side suffering with overheating. They've taken their bonnet off to try and get more cooling into that car. It seems to have helped as they get into the corner ahead of the rally leaders. Two Hero Tel cars pitted against each other. Backwards down the pit lane they come. Challenor and Bishop looks like they have got a slight advantage. Pushing it to the absolute limit as they go around turn 7. Using every single piece of the track is Niels Vosloo. Problems there. Something has gone wrong. Sounds like a gearbox issue. Car stuck in second gear. Oh, and problems for Challenor and Bishop as well, as their back brakes have seized up once again. You see the car snaking as it comes round there. So the heat certainly playing a major factor. Just got a glimpse of Ross and Roxanne Bartle going through. They're running in 5th place at the moment and going well. Oh, disaster for them. Apparently they managed to beach the car, all 4 wheels off the ground, so they had their O boards up to indicate that they are A-OK. Eddie Banks around the outside of the circuit once again for the sideways man in the BMW E36. He really is an icon in all forms of motorsport in this area. Always with a massive, massive smile on his face. And it's hard to believe that he has only got one leg, disabled driver, and he throws a car around the circuit like he does. Marius Rotenbach in the hot seat next to him. Gets it sideways once again. That's how we know Eddie on the limit. Jean and Taron van Rooyen, no match to the rear-wheel drive power of the BMW. Advantage to Eddie Banks this time around. In this shootout, Eddie Banks has managed to move from 4th place up into 3rd place overall. George van Baarden out there in the VW Polo with the big wing on the back of it. Dion Slubbert next to him in the car. They both know their way around Aldo Scribante circuit, but not that way around. Still running anti-clockwise. Next up, another battle of the Polos is Johnny Johnson, his son James next to him on the left-hand side versus Dion Kretzmann and Keith McGregor on the left. Cars going through. Johnson pairing with the advantage. They've managed to open up quite a decent gap over Dion Kretzmann and Keith McGregor. Next up on the right-hand side, Oliver De Man and Ingrid G. Cox in the newly acquired Toyota Conquest. That's an 1800. Got a sequential gearbox in it, a Run-X motor, and beautifully, beautifully prepared car. They're up against Clint Kukumur and Francois Anker. It's their first outing. They've stepped up from a 1400 Golf into the VW Polo. They're representing Daniel Pinar, one of the few schools in the world. I think it's the only school in South Africa that offers motorsport as a subject, and only one of 3 worldwide that have the opportunity for youngsters to do motorsport as a school subject. Next up, it is Fritz and Elmarie Myburg. It's their second time out. They're up against Sonika Rotenbach and Brandon van der Walt in the 562 car. Great dice with the cars on the N2 in the background. You see the speed that they're actually doing on the dirt sections there. You don't realize how quick they are until you see cars on the N2 getting it nice and sideways, coming close to the edge of the circuit. Once again, backwards down the pit lane, breaking all of the motorsport rules as we know it. The 533 car going really, really well. Fritz Myburg and Elmarie Myburg looking very accomplished. The new leaders in the S1 class, Sonika Rotenbach and Brandon van der Walt, going really, really well. Gordon Nolan had managed to get going after his earlier failures and was looking quite solid as he heads out of view. This is what the leaderboard looked like after stage number 3. Still leading Niels Vosloo and Rikus Fourie, followed by Jean van Rooyen, Taron van Rooyen, about 30 seconds off the pace behind them. Back to the next stage, Innibos, and it's Oliver De Man and Ingrid G. Cox moving up into the top 6, flying through in the Toyota Conquest. Classic colors, the Castrol colors. Serge Damso, the heyday of rallying in South Africa. That is exactly what that reminds me of. Great action footage. Car throwing up lots and lots of dust. Run on the same circuit a couple of times now. The dust, I'm sure, is going to come into play. Still with the bonnet off the VW Polo. That is Maverick and Goose. Clyde Challenor and Graham Bishop going through. They followed by Pisang, Herman Bernard once again. The rear-wheel drive Ford Escort going really well, running in the S3 class. Johnny and James Johnson going through. It's their first full season of rallying. Great to have them along for the ride with us. Our S1 leader Sonika Rotenbach and Brandon van der Walt go through. Dion Kretzmann coming through, Keith McGregor alongside him. Flying through the dirt. We go on board with them. Well, you can see they've caught up to, I think it's Johnny Johnson and James Johnson ahead of them, but they're going to have to contend with their dust. Johnson pairing could have a bit of a problem, and this has hampered Dion Kretzmann and Keith McGregor's progress. You can hear they've gone off the pace completely as they negotiate their way through the dust. Ooh, a bit of a moment there for Dion Kretzmann and Keith McGregor having to take evasive action. Johnny and James Johnson obviously had a problem there, missed the turn, and we're busy doing a U-turn. So flying through there, they've made up a place. Back with our race leader once again, taking the next stage win. Opening up a little gap over Challenor and Bishop now. This is what the leaderboard looked like after stage 4. George van Baarle with a 1.52 second lead over Eddie Banks. And Oliver de Man managing to take advantage of Dion racing in the dust, and he moves up to 5th place.
I think we're lying 3rd at the moment with the last stage, so holding thumbs that we can pull it through. Oh, looking forward to the last stage. Awesome around Scribante. It's been great fun.
George van Baarle having lost the big back wing off the back of that Polo, it's going to make the handling of it a lot more difficult. Van Baarle will enjoy when he gets back onto the dirt. They will go the right way around the circuit. He certainly knows his way around here, having raced in regional saloons along with his co-pilot Dion Slubbert. Clyde Challenor with the bonnet back on the VW Polo. Oh, once again, it looks like they're having brake issues. The back brakes on that car locking once again. Watching Ross and Roxanne Bartle come through. They have converted to a super rally, having dropped out of 2 stages, missed more than 2 stages of the rally. Ross on the absolute limit as he brings the VW Polo home. sounding a little bit sick at the moment. Sonika Rotenbach and Brandon van der Walt still going really well though. Oliver de Man and Ingrid G. down the backside of the circuit. They have had a good rally, moved up into the top 6. Flying down the back straight, Oliver de Man, Ingrid G. They've lost their front left wheel. Over the wall it goes. Whoa! Bouncing over the wall. We have certainly had lots of action and drama here at this, the first rally of the season. Herman Bernhardt's going to have to take evasive action. He's going to have to avoid that wheel. Luckily, it comes to a standstill. He runs slightly wide. Gordon Nolan on hand to run out onto the circuit and retrieve the wheel. Lots of instructions from the spectators. Try and get that wheel back onto the circuit. Hopefully it hasn't sheared its studs off. Just hearing in the background that the whole thing has broken off. Johnny and James Johnson coming through now. The final stage of the rally. Onto the dirt. Ooh, a bit of miscommunication there. They decide to rather do an extra lap. Another competitor unsure of where to go. Ingrid G. standing, looking desperately. A stricken vehicle. Their rally has run its course. Car 532 makes its way around the circuit. Clint Kukumura and Francois Anker, they've had a really good outing. De Villiers, Wessels and Martin Kleinkgeld have also had a good outing. Their first rally ever together, representing Daniel Pienaar High School. But coming through now on his way to his first rally podium finish, Bolly and Taran van Rooyen haven't put a foot wrong the whole rally. Eddie Banks trying to steal third place away from George van Balen starts the last section of the rally. Look at the speed that Eddie Banks is carrying down the back part of the circuit. Absolutely flying around there. As the VW Polo of Bolly and Taran van Rooyen come through to complete their section. Back on board with the greatest showman, Eddie Banks. He's had clutch problems, so unfortunately that onslaught to try and get ahead of George van Balen not quite going according to plan. Spectators really enjoying the action, the sideways action from Eddie Banks. Coming through to win the first rally of the season, all of their gears intact and working, and their first win in the new car for Niels Vosloo alongside Rikus Fourie. Apart from the mechanical issues, they haven't put a foot wrong. Had quite a challenge from Challenor and Bishop. Challenor and Bishop unfortunately plagued with mechanical issues, overheating and brake issues, so that put paid to their attack. popular win for Niels Vosloo and Rikus Fourie as they bring the polo home. Ron Scott looks like he's had a good day in the sun. This is what the Clubman podium positions look like. In third place, De Villiers Wessels and Martin Kleingeld. In second, it was Herman Bernard and JP Smith. And our overall winner, Eddie Banks, along with Riane and Marius Rotenbach in the BMW E36. Let's hear from our overall podium finishers.
Great first rally for the season. I must say that we knew the car at speed. On Wednesday we thought, listen, let's rather sit this one out as we didn't have much time to test, and Dion hasn't been in the car at all. So yeah, we had one or two little mechanicals, a couple of coils that was bugging us around, and we had a flying wing. And the last stage we almost missed a couple of laps, couple of turns. Dion's going, brake. I said, no, I've got it. He's like, you don't have it. I said, I've got it. So yeah, it was an awesome day, and played in our stages, and super stoked on the podium. Much appreciated to everybody involved. Thank you.
To start the year off, stay consistent. I think that's important in rallying. You know, you finish all the events and try and get a good position. So yeah, this is a good start, definitely.
Feels very good. A long day, very hot, but yeah, we're here and we're on the top step of the podium, so it's awesome.
Congratulations to all of the competitors on putting together a fabulous performance out there. Massive thank you to all of the sponsors: Stu Davidson and Son Demolition and Plant Hire, Emerald Fire, Future Communications, Triple L Plant Hire, Syra Bix Recycling, our media sponsor Leicester FM, Dispatch Spa, PG Autoglass, ATS Motorsport, to Dunlop, Ocean Truck Sales, as well as Jeff Latham Photography. A massive thank you to each and every one of you. To all of the officials, a big round of applause go out to you guys, putting together an absolutely fantastic circuit, making sure that everything ran like clockwork. To all of the marshals, the unsung heroes out there, a massive thank you to all of you, as well as the service providers. The next event that we look forward to catching up with will be the National Rally held in Jeffreys Bay on the weekend of 16th and 17th of July. We look forward to catching up with you then. From me, Brendan Kelly, it's goodbye until next time.